So, just on management, because there's obviously a few questions around that. Aussie dollar, we've now had 4 consecutive buyer bars, so you can originally went under this one here. Now I've got my stop underneath this one. We're sort of getting up into the extension zone, the overbought zone, and certainly in the extension zone. When looking at extensions, I'm not going to do this one because it's only 2 bars. I don't see any point. So if we do the extension on this one here, last little sort of phase 2, we're certainly in the zone. There's a bit of resistance over here from this low. If we look at the weekly, you've got a bit of resistance across here. Yeah. That's not the one I was looking at. Sorry. It's these lows here. Yep. These highs. You could say 93 is certainly a resistance level, but we're around here now. So I'll be looking for the end of this run coming up soon. And to that, we have trailed our stop, but you could also look at potentially locking in profit by, especially if you're negative, by sort of reducing your exposure. So that's the Aussie. The other one that most of us are in is the pound. Again, we've had 2 buyer bars the day we got in and yesterday. Remember, I have a target on this. Some of you may not. That's okay. But I've got my stop at break even now. I'm underneath this bar and my stop's at break even because I've got 2 buy bars. So now I'll just sit back and let that one play out because I'm risk free on it. Okay, so let's get to the emails. We've got this one, which is JPEG on the pound. So we're not above them, correct? EMA support, no. Well, yeah, once you get in, you would. You could say yes to that if price you're getting in above the 50. Yeah, it's a line ball call. Horizontal support, yes. Convergence, no. But you got hidden divergence, yes. Bullish price action, yes. Fibonacci retracement. I can't see your blue. It's blue, isn't it? Yeah, I can't really see it, but I can see where your one started from. Yep. Trend line support, yes. Hidden divergence. I think there is a bit of resistance in the way. It's at 2.5, and that's why I've got my target there. This is the purple line you've drawn. That's why I've put a target on it, because I think that is quite a big resistance. So, but it's, as I said, it's 2.5 times the risk that we had on it in terms of pips. So that's all good, and we can see the action there. All right. The next email is 4-hour divergence into JPEG as well. All right. Yes, that's reversal divergence. I want to take the pound long on demo, and I'm waiting for price action to show buyers. Okay, yeah, you need a higher high, higher low here. Is this the right place to put the 4-hour divergence? Yep. And the 4-hour extensions, I don't see your extensions on there. And this is the only attachment you put on it. You said you attached it daily, but it's not on there. So once you've done all the setup for the daily, you've got your horizontal, your Fibonacci's and all that is on there. And you've got your trend line, you've got your horizontal. The 4-hour you were looking at, I think, was down here somewhere, was it? Gap down, and there's a gap down here. You're looking in here. Yes, there is that divergence there, and you'd need to have extensions. And where to get your extensions in here? Your extensions is the last phase 2, which is this one. Yeah. and we've got the 1.618 as extension support, which is what we need to see. So we have the divergence, we have the extension support. There should be a horizontal here from your daily, which I just haven't put on, but from your daily should be a horizontal around here as well. And then you could be looking at it, and it was a bit messy, but effectively you would have been going in here. Because here's the, you've seen this bar, but then it became a test bar, so you would have been going in here. Yep. Okay, so that's the 4 hour. Okay. Next one is Aussie dollar analysis and risk calculation. I got into the trade on Monday, 5 pips above the ring low, which went well on Wednesday. I moved my stop just on the Tuesday bar to break even. I've not moved my stop since then. Fair enough. My target was 92.85 because of that pulling back to the 50 EMA on the weekly. Fair enough. Which could touch the price around my take profit level. Yep, it's getting bloody close to it now, I'd say. 80, 92.85. Well, you're out. You've hit your target. Well done. Now looking at the rally was happening, and I'm wondering how I could manage the trade and safely increase target level if that was possible. 95 and 98, 95.00, 98.00 would be very aggressive. Yeah, I think it won't get there in this run. I think we'll have a pull up around, I did say mid 92s, but it's gone a bit beyond that. Maybe 93 resistance will stop it. Nick, yes, the 4 hour pound was a classic for front running. Yeah, and that's hindsight showing you. Cool. Your checklist is all good. You're risking 0.5%. Okay. Yeah, that's fabulous work. And this is your target area. Okay, you don't have a target on it. Well, just coming back to your question, which is, can you safely move your target level out? Yeah, look, you never move, as in the last session, we discussed moving stops away, which is a big no-no. Moving targets away can be tricky as well, in the sense that you want to maximize the most out of the profit, out of the trade. So you're looking at horizontal levels such as nice round numbers like 93 or previous resistance lines. But they can break through them, such as we have on the Aussie. So rather than try and pick a level where it's going to turn, because you don't know in a strong move like this, it's a matter of, okay, take your target off altogether and just have a trailing stop. And as I said, 2 consecutive bars are underneath this. If this bar forms as a high test bar, or Monday's bar does, then you'd obviously go underneath and you sort of high test bar, and you'll most likely get a high test bar in this scenario. As it rushes up, the sellers will step in, and it could quite likely be around here, the 93 area. Yeah. There's a big one at 93.90, but that's up here. Is 95 going to get hit in this run? Well, anything's possible, but I doubt it. But as I said, it's possible. Okay. Aussie dollar, yep. Kiwi is giving us divergence at last. Kiwi is giving us divergence, but no sign of sellers. We do have a lower RSI than this move here, but just no sign of stopping that. So, yeah, it's Nick. I just said where I thought it was stopping that. I wanted you to review my previous email, how to manage the strong uptrend. Now I've done my homework because I went and recorded video. The price is already around the 61 and my target has been around 200. Yeah, now I'm pretty clear. I need to see first seller bar coming up, then I'm moving my stop loss. Yes, previously I did put in the take profit in the trade, so now I've taken it out. Good. Touchdown fee. Right, cool. So yeah, just keep an eye on the Aussie now that you try to stop. Just okay. Aussie Kiwi, question about entry. Well, we traded this phase 2, and I had my stop underneath this, which actually happened to be underneath that bar. So then I went and took my target out, well, which only had half my target on there, and also then came and took my stop out. So made half of what I expected. And yes, if you look at those two bars together, you have a kind of high test bar looking thing. I don't particularly like to look at two bars together. I prefer saying, well, here's a test bar, then we get a bullish engulfing bar, then we get another engulfing bar, but it's a seller bar. I'd like to see another lower low before I went into this short. But you've got this massive support line along here, so now your risk reward on this is going to be, quite deteriorated in terms that even if you went under that bar, you're looking at about 112 pip stop roughly, and you're looking at 90 or 100 pip target. So I don't like that one, even though you've done your analysis, which is fabulous. And you're getting 7 out of 9, you've got to stop and look at the bigger picture. And in this case, it's the monthly chart. Go and have a look at your monthly chart. You see this massive support here, which is, I think, a bit of a concern to trade because I've got a couple of people looking at this to go short. I'd still like to be long this. I think this is going north. I think it's up to about $1.15 somewhere area. But now that I'm out, I've got taken out of my long trade. I'll be waiting for a cycle above the EMA before I start getting long again. But I could be wrong, and your analysis is right. I'd just be very careful of that major support line. Euro Swiss. Okay, here's another one. We don't trade short anything under $1.24. I don't want you to trade short. There's just no point. And the Euro Swiss, the reason I say that is because it's got a floor on it. You can see the Central Bank of Switzerland, the SNB, are protecting that price of $1.20. So best case scenario is you get in here and your target is $1.20, which is 95 plus 75 is 170 pips. Best case scenario, even if it does get to $1.20, which is unlikely. And okay, you're risking 60 pips to get that, but with the $1.20 and the Swiss National Bank sitting there, you're not going to. It's just pointless selling this. So you've got to look at the bigger picture, right? And even this, are you getting lower highs, lower lows? I mean, you're not. If you look at it, well, I suppose if you say that's your cycle, then yes, you are. But if you're saying, here's a cycle, there's a cycle, this is not a lower low, I suppose that's a judgment call on your behalf, and I'll accept that if that's the complete cycle. So yeah. But again, I just don't want you to sell it because I don't think with the $1.20 it's any point. Sorry about this. The motorbike company Deus Ex Machina has a shop here in Bali, and all the surf heads seem to think it's pretty cool to own one that you can hear coming from friggin' miles around. With the $1.20 on the Euro Swiss, if it gives you a buying opportunity down there, absolutely. If it's good enough for the central bank, good enough for us, I think. Either that or wait for it to cycle above the moving average again and then go for it. But at this stage, you're not looking to short it. Okay, pound. Analysis of this pair that's running live now. Higher highs, higher lows. Yeah. Not exactly. Above the moving averages? Not exactly. You're under the 50, okay? EMA support, yeah, that's a line ball call because once you get in the trade, you're in it. Horizontal support, yes. Convergence. Well, there is hidden divergence, which you've highlighted, yeah, but even through this period here that you've got price following it. So I'd say there's convergence and hidden divergence. Fib retracement, you got your fib right. Trend line support, yep, that's right. Cool, it's all good, 0.5%, fabulous. Yes, I will. So, your question, MetaTrader, when on parameters of the RSI, there are two tick boxes at the bottom, fixed minimum, which is 0, fixed maximum, which is 100. Is that, yes, it's supposed to be 0 and 100, that's fixed. Minimum and maximum, yep. All right. And yep, you know the Euro Swiss now. Okay. We have this one. Hit your profit target. Fabulous. Reach your target. That's good. And yeah, I'm not sure. I like the CAD Swiss. It's been in a good trend. Yeah, but trends don't last forever. CAD Swiss, isn't it? CAD Swiss, yeah. And I'm not so sure that we're going to see a new one down. We are overbought here, so could expect a new one to start. But geez, it's been a long time in this trend. Yeah. Would I short this as phase one? I'd certainly be looking at it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you get any major selling around here, I'd certainly be looking at it. That's why I said in my email this morning, keep an eye on it. The month of March, how quickly things can change. It proves you can't fight the market, but wait and watch and go with the market when it is ready. Yeah, the market is just like a wife. All right. Had a couple of trades in the first week and then nothing for 2 or 3 weeks, and then some decent trades at the end of it. So yeah, it's just a matter about being patient, and if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there, but it could come in the last week like it has. I haven't identified any new trades suitable for me since Wednesday, and I've cancelled my Swiss yen, euro dollar, dollar Swiss. Yes, I've done all the same. Can you please discuss the trailing stops for Aussie and pound? I've done that. Question for today. Currently have Aussie and have moved to stop to just above break even. Okay. And set a target of 92.85. Cool. Because of the resistance and the extension. Yep. And news coming out next week. Yes, we have RBA on Tuesday, I think. Yeah, first Tuesday of the month is April Fool's Day. And closing early, aware management closing early moving stop is a challenge for me. Okay, well, we've discussed the Aussie at the moment. Is this reasonable analysis in this situation, or move under yesterday's bar, given there are two lots of buyers bars since entry? You could do either. You know, moving to, you've got two consecutive buy bars, so you've got the option. It doesn't mean you have to, but you've got the option. All right? And I've taken that option. I haven't put a target on mine. I've taken that option, but if you have a target, like I've got a target on the cable, and it could go past that, who knows, but I haven't got a target on the Aussie, so I'll move my stop under here, but obviously you'd be out of yours now since 85 is your target. We're trading above that at 90. So you haven't done anything wrong, and that's all okay. I would have my stop on the Aussie much tighter than yours. Is that okay? You have where? Where do you have your stop on the Aussie? Where and why? What's the probability on interest rates for Tuesday, and where do we find this information online? You find it at this website. Where is it? Rate indicator. There we go. It's on the homepage of the ASX. Rate indicator, and there's a 2% chance of a decrease, a 98% chance of no change, and they haven't sort of started to roll that into what would be the chances of an increase, because the market's still sort of bearish of the view. When I look at a trade that is promising, I then check the risk reward, take the nearest 50 AMA or horizontal, and then if it is less than 1.5, I don't take it. Then checking afterwards, it goes right through, and I miss out on a good trade. What is the best way to get over this? There's none really. I presume you're looking at something like the CAD Swiss, or the pound Swiss. You don't know if it's going to go straight through. You don't know if it's just going to do something like this. And the CAD Swiss could still do something like that. We don't know yet. Certainly overbought and needs to come off a bit. And there's no way around that. Well, not that I know. The only thing I have suggested to people is that they split the order and put half of it at the 50 EMA. Yeah, which is what I did on the Aussie Kiwi. I put half on the 50 EMA, and the other half I trialed both the stops underneath this high test bar, because I was getting a little worried that it might fall back down. But I had half on the 50 EMA, which got taken out, and I had the other half with the option to let it run higher, and unfortunately I got stopped out on the other half anyway. So that's one way of getting sort of around it and letting it go through. But what's stopping you in the first place is the risk reward, and if that's not there, then you don't take the trade. Whereas there was on this one, this CAD Swiss, and there was on the Aussie Kiwi. So halfway up yesterday's bar based on the 4-hour chart. To reserve profit turns at resistance was my reasoning. Are you trading this as a 4-hour trade or a daily trade? Well, then you should be managing it on the daily. Yeah. Unless you're sort of in there, if that's where you're thinking, but that's not ideal. You should be just managing it on the daily. I prefer you to manage it on the time frame you're trading it. If you're trading daily, then okay, you're not going to get the top unless you have a target and you manage to get the top. But you're waiting for that market to roll over, because this, it could be volatile. You could get an engulfing bar and then it'll keep running. Again, it's hard to tell what's going to happen in the future, If we did know what was going to happen in the future, then it'd be a lot easier. But we try and prepare ourselves for the best possible scenarios whilst protecting the worst case scenarios. So that's why we try and manage it on the daily time frame that we entered in. No, in terms of interest rates, is there a similar one for others? Not that I'm aware of. Possibly. I haven't really looked. I've been around long enough that I can judge pretty much by where the bond market is heading as to where interest rates are going to, whether they're going to move or not. But in short, is there a page like this on other currencies or other countries? Not that I'm aware of. These are the things I go over in the class time and time again. Pound yen, interesting. Let's have a look. Well, it's an engulfing bar. It's not really going anywhere. The 50's flat, but it's sort of trying to take off, but it's not really doing. It's not really doing much. Let's have a look at your analysis. Trend line, horizontal, Fibonacci. Okay, so you're cycling along this trend line. Well, if that's the case, it hasn't made higher high. In fact, it's making lower highs. Nice bounce off the 618 there. Higher highs, look at big cycle. Yep, okay. Well, this should have beaten this high if this cycle was supposed to beat that cycle. And we're getting higher highs. Finding support off moving average. Horizontal support. RSI convergence. Yeah. Bullish price action. Fib retracement. Look, you make an argument. I wouldn't put my house on it. But you make an argument. Diminishing range. Okay. Well, got a bit of a ascending, well, not ascending triangle, a wedge happening here. Daily, RSI is sitting in there's still some room on the upside. It's not the ideal setup that I'd like to look at, but you make an argument and you've fought for the trade, so take it. You also got a question. You shorted the euro pound, right? Okay, and went long the pound US. For pound US, should I move stop loss under yesterday's bar? Yeah, to break even. For the euro pound, should I close the trade as it moves under the 50, or should I move stop loss above yesterday's bar? I would close half of the trade if I was you, and then move the balance to above the this bar here. 2 consecutive bearish bars. You'd have your stop above that worst case scenario anyway, and then potentially close out of half the trade anyway. Because the pound does reverse, and both your trades have gone south. Euro Swiss. Okay, we'll discuss this. It's not something I want you to look at. 2 is only 9 pips away from the central banks when they step in. And they may step in before $1.20. They said they just don't want it to go below $1.20. So they may step in before that. Risk 1 to 2, $250. may make for nervous sellers. No shit. Yeah. But just to look at your analysis, this fib here doesn't make any sense. You should be looking at this from there, okay, from there to this low. Otherwise, because that's the largest cycle you have to be looking at, because this is a higher low and this is a higher high. So if this cycle, this phase one, has been broken, so to speak, should have made a lower low. So then you're looking at this larger cycle, which means you need to draw the fib of that larger cycle. Okay. Well, there's big horizontal on the way, 2 times your risk. Otherwise, that's good. This one, Aussie Kiwi, would this be a double bottom? You bet. Have a look at the monthly, and you'll see massive support on that. I don't know if this goes back long enough, but you can see that every time it gets down here, it sort of rallies pretty hard off it. That's 105. So 105 area, big support, and yet double bottom. So again, I think that your risk reward on that, if you're going down here, is unlikely. And your Fibonacci, okay, I'm not sure why what you've drawn there. But again, you should be going from this point here to there to get your Fibonacci. So you're looking at sort of that to there, and you're getting the 618 as resistance. Okay. So just be careful where your fibs are at, and also look at the larger picture, because that is a very large support level. Otherwise, I like the way you guys are looking for trades. It's good. All right, so Aussie dollar, could you please let me know about your tight stops? I can see that it's just gone through the 92.70 horizontal. Yep. Okay, we'll discuss the Aussie. Pound CAD, Euro CAD, a touch the EMA. I'm preparing in advance for the possibility of taking this long. I'll do the full analysis once I've seen more buyers. However, for now, I just want you to take fib retracement. I can't get fib retracement from the EMA. Not sure whether I'm drawing the fibs from the middle of nowhere. Do you think about the resistance? If this steps over next week, do you think we should take it? Okay. So Euro CAD. Yeah, that's a reasonable fib. Now, if you go here, what's it going to give you? Is it the 382? Let's just go straight through it now, isn't it? So if you come from here, you've got the 382, but you've drawn your fib from there, and that's a reasonable assumption to do as well. And you've got the 618. All right. If you have that fib, you might find support down here. Minor support across here, which is what it's sitting on. I mean, it could do the 382. The 382 is a valid fib line. So be watch and see, but yeah, that's also a valid fib where you've got it in there. And to your pound CAD, again, that's a reasonably valid fib. If you go all the way back down to the 50, it's going to be pointless. You could go from there to this high, or where you've gone, which is valid. There is quite a big resistance there, as you pointed out. And it might be reasonably, you may get it, but if we get a setup, it might be worthwhile putting a small amount on it to see if, just in case it doesn't get through that resistance level. But if it does, then you're in on it, and then you add to it in the in the shorter time frame, so you're getting your full leverage on it. Okay. Aussie CAD. Did I miss something? What was this one? I missed someone's. Oh no, that was your checklist. Someone's checklist for their analysis. Whose was that? Oh, that was the Euro Swiss. Yeah. Okay. Covered that. Cool. So, a couple of questions after this, but this is the last chart. Aussie CAD. You're seeing divergence there. The risk reward is certainly attractive, even if it is this trend line or the channel that you've got. But the divergence. Let's have a look. Oh, mate. Yeah, your RSI at that point is 86, and at this point it's 87. I know you what you're trying to see, but and it'd be lovely if it was, but I don't necessarily think it is. Yeah, yeah, I don't necessarily think that we're going to get that that divergence just yet. It is a high test bar, which is fabulous. Yeah, and sometimes you just don't get the divergence. I mean, like this. It would have been great to be in that. That would have been a nice, 1.5 to 1 win. And this one is certainly looking at something probably even better than 1.5. You're looking at 130 pips for 220. Yeah, I just don't. I'm not saying it. I don't know what else to say, mate. The bearish divergence marginal, fib extension marginal. I think your fib's right. Just don't know about your divergence. I want to say it, but I just can't. Aussie CAD trend continuation on the 4 hour. Alright. Well, for that, the reason why I'd probably not look at the 4 hours because our daily is done. Yeah, you can clearly see. You should be looking at the 4 hour back here on this day. What day was this? On the 20th. Potentially looking at it there on the 20th, which is in here. That's not ideal setup either. But I see what you're looking at is that ring low. And RSI has certainly got more to go on the upside on the 4 hour, but quite literally the daily we want to see a similar high or a little higher high and divergence in the RSI. So to get that, it's going to be a little spike up, like another high test, which is not ideal for the 4 hour trade. When the daily's overbought, you shouldn't be worrying about the lower time frames. Yep. You're looking now to buy. Yeah. Well, can you comment please on the relative merits of the euro if it should strengthen against the US? The relative weakness against the US from a fundamental aspect. Well, yeah, if you're bullish euro and bearish CAD, then it makes sense to buy the euro CAD, doesn't it? But the CAD's had a bit of a bounce at the moment. Similar to the Aussie, the commodity currencies are doing really well. Look at the Kiwi, the CAD, and the Aussie. They're all coming off their lows, and so they're doing pretty well, whilst the euro is struggling, and so hence the euro CAD is doing its phase two. So yeah, you certainly do look at the fundamentals. I don't compare them to the US. You just go, well, okay, how's the euro going? Well, it's moving along. It's not setting the world on fire. And how's the CAD going? Well, it's been weak for a number of years, but is in the last 3 or 4 days has bounced. So the overall trend of the Canadian economy is still bearish. So whilst the euro is ambivalent to bullish, so I'd still be looking for buying opportunities in the euro CAD, and it's and the CAD Swiss, the upside down one, and they're both back there now. So that's what I'll be looking at. All right. Sort of. All right. I'll answer this. I can't open your analysis, but I'll answer it. And what you're looking at is, we've covered it pretty extensively. This is the fib that extension that you're looking at. Yeah. And everybody else has mentioned the weekly, so let's go and have a look at it. I'll take that fib off, and we're on the 50, which is 93.05. But if you draw a Fibonacci on the weekly, there's some resistance there that you might have as a target as well. There's nothing wrong with having targets. And the weekly 50 EMA was your target. Okay, that's fine. With the fib retracement I've got is going to be at 93.46, and another 40 pips if you want it. Can you put in whether I'm not reading the fib correctly? I'll compare the fib retracement. Right, so that's the fib retracement on the weekly. We throw the daily one, and we put that extension on our daily. We don't get any clusters. Oh no, we do. There's your 2 on the daily is around the 618 on that weekly. So there's a nice little cluster which could be an effective target. And if I see price hit that, I might jump out. I might even put my target in there. Now I haven't seen that. So, but at this stage, I'm just trailing my stop. All right, guys, you'll have a lovely weekend, and I said the euro was the weakest of majors in the currency pairs that are trading at the moment. Yeah, economically, no. Japan's the weakest of the majors economically, but the yen's going nowhere, and the euro's come off again. Well, guys, I shall see you all. I think it's April's Fool's Day. I think I've got the one on the 1st. You guys enjoy the rain. You need the bloody rain. I wouldn't whinge about it. I know my family needs it. The only problem is that in Australia it seems to rain on concrete and bitumen rather than rain on the ground. Anyway, enjoy. Sorry, Carol, enjoy. Cheers, guys. I'll speak to you Tuesday. RBA Day. That'll be fun. Cheers.